Hey Phantomaniacs, and welcome to another needless unboxing. Today we are going to be taking a look at Spawn from Mortal Kombat, which may well be the best Spawn figure ever released. We've been waiting a long time to get our hands on this one. It originally was supposed to come out at the beginning of April at GameStop, and then due to one thing and another, I think we all know what's been going on lately, it got delayed a little bit. But finally, it is here. It looks incredible, so we're going to open it up and see what's going on. 22 points of our, 22 moving parts. We don't say points of articulation because that's not how Todd McFarlane does things, which is okay. You can see all the information down at the bottom, McFarlane.com, McFarlane Toys, legendary toy manufacturer that changed the business for all time, and a really nice image of the figure on the back. I kind of wish it was a picture from the game where Spawn is a bonus character because, like, oh, look, there's the figure. I get it. I don't need another picture of the figure on the back of the box. I would rather have a picture of what the figure is representing, but what are you going to do? It's a nice, simple window box. It's got a panel in the top to let light in so you can see the figure in the store. And now we're just going to open it right up. And there, right there, we do have a bit of a picture of, also the figure. You can see the joints right there. So, but that's just how good that figure looks. So let's take our trusty 1964 box cutter and slice right in and let this guy breathe. Now, I have not collected any of the other Mortal Kombat figures from McFarlane, so I don't know the quality, but lately McFarlane's articulated stuff has been really great, and this is the same scale as their DC Comics line that's going on now. You can see the stand is attached to the back of this really great green backer. It looks like Spawn's necroplasm. I like this, and I almost hate to mess it up pulling the stand out, but that's what we got to do. Very simple, flat, basic, but useful stand. It's got the Mortal Kombat logo on it. Whatever. Not even logo, just the words Mortal Kombat. And then we have Spawn himself, looking pretty tough and gnarly. Everything is carefully protected in this insert. I like when these are posed neutrally and don't have any kind of pose going on that could lead to potential damage with the figure. Go ahead and pull this sword out of here. Secured in place by those annoying plastic tabs. Now, this is a more rigid plastic than you see in some other toy lines. Looks great. It's got the Spawn symbol there above the crossguard. Lots of paint, lots of detail. Really, really great, interesting sculpt. This is something that would do a whole lot of damage. I do wish he had his battle axe from the older, I can't remember what the first Mortal Kombat game that Spawn appeared in, but I would love to have that battle axe because that was just badass. I think it may be Mortal Kombat 10, I'm not sure. But anyway, nice looking sword. Let's set that aside and get to the man himself. Also secured by these annoying plastic tabs. But they're going to pull right out of that plastic because I have broken one of the card. Oh, nope. There they are right there. Look at that. My trusty Dollar Tree nail clippers to get through those annoying plastic tabs. But it looks like this one is going to be a little tricky to get to. There we go. So you just pull that up. Give it a little snip, and no more plastic tabs. Throw all that business away, and let's take a look at Al Simmons. And we've got some rubber chains here. That's traditional with Spawn figures. There have only been a few with metal chains, but just a fantastic sculpt. It's modern Spawn, but it's a very classic look, I guess. He doesn't have any sort of weird permutations. I don't feel like they've video gamed him up overly. He looks really, really nice. I'm very impressed with this sculpt. take a look at that face. Look at the ugly mug on this guy. Those bright green eyes looking really nice. And that legendary mask, very clearly inspired by Spider-Man, the way Todd McFarlane drew him. But, you know, why not take a good idea and make it extreme, which is kind of what McFarlane and Image Comics in general did. Tons of articulation here. While we do have this rubber cape that is attached back there, which is fine, because it looks like it's not going to interfere with posing too terribly much. We've got these great, look at those butterfly joints in the shoulder. You can actually see some forward and backward movement, and then a really nice shoulder joint there. Ratcheting elbow joints, double jointed, working really well. And what have we got here at the wrist? Got a nice degree of bend there and swivel as well. This is a softer, like PVC type plastic that this guy is made of. It's okay. I would like it to be a little more rigid, but at the same time, it feels nice, and I don't feel like anything's going to break. Again, that nice butterfly joint there in the shoulder, giving it some forward. You can hear him creaking. You got to loosen these things up carefully. But that bicep swivel, everything's great there. And take a look at the detail, the paint and the sculpt on that armband and on that wrist guard there. Just really intense level of detail in this guy. He's got an abdominal joint, gives some rotation that breaks up the paint and the sculpt there, which, by the way, these costume lines here are sculpted. That is not just paint there. I love that, because this figure is this figure. This isn't going to be farmed out. These parts aren't going to be used again. You can see, like I said, the rubber chains around his waist, the cool sort of skull, belt buckle, whatever you want to call it. And then we get down to the hip joints, the really great range of motion, because what we have here on the crotch piece, there's a little treat for you there. Al Simmons' spectacularly sculpted buttocks. But those hip joints are tremendous. Look at the range on these. Now, there's not too much of a swivel right there. A little bit, it's not bad, but you can get a nice sort of kneeling pose out of this guy. I like it. Again, double jointed knees with ratcheting joints. Oh, there we go. Works really, really well. And again, everything feels very sturdy. I'm not concerned as I'm moving this around. I don't feel like I have to be too terribly careful breaking these joints in. Neck joint has a pretty nice range there. That head moves around a decent bit. Got a toe joint, which I usually find superfluous. I'm not a big fan of the toe joints. Really nice ankle with the swivel and the pivot. So good degree there. And then if you look inside Spawn's big ridiculous boot thing, whatever that is, it looks cool. Again, that foot, shockingly, has the same degree of motion as the unbooted foot, I guess you'd call it. And of course, wouldn't be a 90s character without some pouches. Where else is Spawn going to keep his, I guess, chewing tobacco? I don't know what he keeps in there. Big League Chew, maybe? I would think he wants to be a good role model. Now, let's take a look. What have we got at the waist? The waist here has another joint that is not a cut joint. So really, you can turn it a little bit, but it doesn't break up the sculpt. I'm not a fan anymore of cut joints at waists. I think we can do better. Let's take a look at the back of the cape here. I love the layers, the tattered layers in the back of his cape. And just looking at this, I can imagine it being so dynamic in the game with these different layers of the cape moving around as Spawn moves in combat. Just a really great, nice touch. Overall, I gotta say, This is a fantastic figure. It was well worth the wait. It is probably the greatest Spawn figure of all time until the Kickstarter Spawns arrive later in the year, which, by the way, if you're not following McFarlane's Kickstarter for the new Spawn figure, remastered, so to speak, I recommend you go check it out. But for right now, oh wait, we got to check out his sword. Before we go, let's make sure this weapon fits into this guy's hand. And look at that. Goes right in there. Very rubbery hand, but again, it's okay because the figure feels sturdy and like it's not going to break. So all kinds of great dynamic poses you can get out of this guy. Again, sturdy weapon, brutal, badass weapon. I love this. This is awesome. Thank you, McFarlane Toys, for delivering this incredible Spawn, and I can't wait to see what the remastered Spawn looks like later this year.